Welcome to Show Up Scared podcast. My name is Alexandra Silva-Labar. I am your host, and we are bringing real people showing up scared and doing the thing that mostly scares them. So today I have a special guest on who's going to share a little bit about how she showed up scared in her life and how she got here to inspire you through her personal story. So let's welcome Katina. Can you give us a little bit of a background on who you are and just to get to know you a little bit?
So my name is Katina Hernandez. I am a retired special agent with Homeland Security Investigations. I worked human trafficking investigations for over 15 years. I'm now a professor at St. Thomas University. I'm a consultant for an anti-human trafficking organization called Quest to Freedom. I'm also a realtor, a speaker, and soon to be author.
I love it. Wearing a lot of different hats, just like myself, and that's good. That's what makes us unique and able to connect with different types of people, right? So we're going to start off with some questions and get to know you a little deeper. So the first question is, can you share a moment in your life when you had to show up scared, and what did it teach you?
Oh, wow.
About yourself? What did it teach you about you, like in that moment?
Well, so many, the first one that comes to my mind, honestly, is being a mother. However, I want to share something that kind of, motherhood is natural. We know we're going to have our babies. But when I went to the academy, when I first became a federal agent, so it was very scary. I had to give up 6 months of my life, or devote 6 months, not give up, devote 6 months of my life into an academy. I had to leave my youngest son, who was 16, with my mom, and just completely dedicate myself into this 6-month academy, which was going to train me into being a federal agent. That was very scary because I had to deal with physical, academic, being away from home in another state, different environment, and just, trusting my mom to deal with my 16-year-old. My two older ones were already out of the house, but I still had him. And it was, shooting weapons, doing military training. That was very, very, very scary.
I could imagine, and for a woman, right? That probably, and like you said, as a mom and a woman, and kind of putting yourself in that situation. So, what did it teach you? Like, what was the one lesson that you learned from that experience?
Honestly, what it taught me is keep faith, and God is my center. Because there were things that I was doing that I was just like, I can't do this. And it taught me to speak to myself, and the power of words and the power of God and the power of faith. It's like, the more you tell yourself you can't, you listen to yourself. So why not say, I can do this. I'm going to do this. Through God, all things are possible. I depended on, the Bible. I depended on prayer, faith. I had support of other classmates who were also mothers who had children back at home, or some of them were just out of college, but still very scared because this was their first. There was a large number of women in my class, which was not the norm. However, it was divine timing because it was exactly what I needed. And even the men and the younger men that were in were very supportive and just God sent. So it definitely taught me that, again, when God puts you in a place where all you have is Him, it's like that's the only way, not out, but the only way forward is through God.
I love that so much. I love what stood out for me. Beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. I think that a lot of people can relate to moments like that. But what really stood out was the power of your words, and that's huge. And we don't realize that when we say things out loud that we're feeling, and our bodies actually respond to it. Like, I can't do that, or I can't believe this is happening to me, or, just anything that you're going through. And we forget that the power in your words, and in those moments where you were going through, you chose to say, I can do this. I can move forward. I'm leaning on my faith, because that to me is everything. And I know through God, I can accomplish anything. So that was really beautiful. And I'm sure the listeners can relate to moments that we do have to lean on God. And sometimes this is something we should do daily, but sometimes we're put against the corner, right? And we have no other choice. And then we get out of it and we're like, wow, how did I do that? But it was to the grace of God, and that's how He got us through it. So thank you for that.
Amen.
The next question is, fear shows up differently for everyone, right? Everyone experiences fear in different ways, different times in their life. How does it show up for you? And how do you move through it while still taking action?
Wow.
So how does it show up for you?
So there's different times.
You know, we're always scared, right? We're always, you know, in my book, Show Up Scared, I talk about each lesson, each chapter, I had to show up scared. People think you just show up scared once. No, every time you have to elevate, you're showing up scared. So how does that, like, how do you move past that? Some people freeze. How do you know, how does that work when fear just creeps up in your life, and how do you navigate through it?
Physically, I love that. Thank you for giving me that vision and the way to articulate. So when fear arises, honestly, I kind of strive off of fear. It's like a challenge for me. I realize that it's like an adrenaline rush. And because of the past experience that I've had that I've pushed through, which I didn't really recognize the fear, but I felt it was a hesitating moment, fear. I kept going. And it was God. My mom, she was also my biggest cheerleader. Thank God. I have my mom. She always, would cheer me on. You could do it. You could do it. You could do it. I had the support of friends, but honestly, through God. And what I would tell myself is, if this is for me, I'm going to get through this. If it's not for me, there's something better. So just show up. That's the most important thing, is to just show up. Showing up is half the battle. Once you're there, you push through it. But there's examples, like when I had to retire, I was faced with a health issue, and it's a long process. It was a long process to retire from the government. And, I just made a phone call, spoke with an attorney, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm just being guided to do this. I was terrified. What if this gets denied? Then I get out of my job. Then what am I going to do? Then I don't have a job. Then I don't have a pension. But I said, look, I'm fighting for myself. I'm fighting for what's right. This is my health, and just keep going. And again, through God, all things are possible. And what's for me is for me.
Yeah, and it's again, that voice, right? That you can't do it, and something may not work out, where people typically stop, and you chose to continue. And that's the moment that I, as the author of Show Up Scared, as someone that's really, I now have a app that I just created. You're the first one hearing about it. It's coming out in the next few weeks. Thank you. Where people can join, and you have it right at your fingertip to help you navigate through fear. I believe that fear is the one thing that holds people back in life. And looking at my past life and thinking, how did I get here? I was fearless. I was fearless, but not everyone is. Not everyone can do what you did, even though you reached out to an attorney, say, hey, can you help me? But in your head, you're thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? How can I retire? What if this goes wrong? What about my job? And this is the real stories of what happens to us daily on decisions that we have to make to push the needle forward and to get us from where we're at into where we want to be, right? That there takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of blocking the noise and believing yourself and saying, wait, all this stuff that's in my head is fear, and 90% of the time, it never will happen. but we
Yes.
sit there, right? Think about it. We
That's it.
fear things every single day, and most of the time, none of it even happens. And we just put our bodies and our, our system, right, our nervous system, put it through so much stress for no reason. So, fear is not always your enemy. I talk about that, making fear almost your friend and understanding when it shows up and really saying, wait, what is it trying to tell me, right? Because fear shows up in our bodies and our, to help us, protect us, really. So saying, what is it trying to tell me? And what is it trying to protect me of? Wait, in this situation, it's not trying to protect me from anything because I'm going to be okay, right? It's really forming that relationship. So I'm going to ask you the next question. This one here is going back to your younger self, which I always love, your inner child, right? That's what makes us who we are today. So when you think about your younger self, what do you wish that your younger self knew about courage, resilience, or rising after a setback? You kind of spoke about that a little bit, but I don't know what age that was. I don't know if you have another story when you were younger, the younger Katina, kind of experiencing something where you just wish you knew about courage and resilience then, wish somebody taught that to you.
Younger Katina, again, that's my mom. Honestly, that I do have to say that was probably the first time having my child. Does that count? Is that cheating? Because
absolutely. No. Listen, I don't know how old you were, but I was 19 years old, pregnant. So I gave birth right before my 20th birthday. So I believe that's your child, like giving birth that young. My children,
I definitely
can't even imagine them having children right now. Like, how did I do it, right?
I know. Yeah. I was a teenager as well. I was very young. And I remember like 8 months pregnant. And I was like, Mom, I don't know what to do, but I'm not going to be able to like have this child. I freaked out. I feel like no matter how old any woman is in their first child, it's like, wait a minute, this child has to come out of me. I don't know. I can speak for myself and a lot of women that I've spoken with, but that was probably the first really scariest thing. Before that, it's like sports. I was an athlete, but knowing that I have to give birth to a little human that is going to solely just depend on me, that I was still a teenager and I still had to finish college and find my career, and I had a whole other human being. So, and then knowing that I was no longer first. I had to care for this child. This child had to eat, solely depend on me to live. How am I going to do that? Because I'm still depending on my parents financially. What? So that was a huge challenge, and I don't talk about that often. I don't give myself credit for that enough often, and I think a lot of women should. I did mention, like, is it cheating because it's part of life? It is part of life. However, it's a very scary part of life. And when that child is story. Yes. And when they put that child is placed in your arms, for any mother, no matter what age, you're like, I have to take care of this little human being. And it's a whole little human being with little tiny organs and little fingers and little toes, and it's breathing. It's so gorgeous. It's the most beautiful, beautiful gift on earth. So that was a huge challenge, and giving birth was even, before that challenge. So a lot of times I think about that. When I'm going through something, I do think, hey, I had 3 kids. They're alive. They're walking, they're talking, they're healthy. They've been, they've stayed out of trouble. They're really good human beings with good hearts. That's a huge accomplishment that we have to give ourselves, from the get. And that's probably why we're so successful in other things, because it's like God trusted us with this huge project, his children. Right. And so now what? And it's always like, okay, next. What you got for me next? What career next?
Yeah, and they don't come with a menu, right? There's no like, we just figure it out. It's that we just know, like, we have to take care of them. And you had your mom, which is amazing. You build a tribe. You can't do it alone. A lot of women try to do it alone, and it doesn't really work. I think, community is important. That's what God wants for all of us, is to build a tribe of people that can help us. And I'm sure you can relate to that, because
yes,
you didn't do it alone. You had, whether it was someone you had in your life, your parents, your tias, whoever that.
Yes. Oh yes. All of
you have
tias,
people. It takes a village. So, all right. The next one is, people often see the success, not the struggle. What is one challenge you face that shaped who you are, but most people don't know about? So I love this question so much, because I can relate to it, right? I can relate to it because people see how I'm thriving, what I've gone through. And when you read the book, Show Up Scared, I've gotten like so many messages like, oh my goodness, you went through this. Yes, it makes you who you are. So please share with us one story that really shaped you, that really, really, got you here in a sense. Part of your
So
your
what comes to me first, because I don't talk about this, but I'm going to start talking about this. It's going to be in my book too. I am a survivor of domestic violence. I don't talk about that. It's something that happened to me, that the relationship is over, I closed the door, and I left all that in there. I didn't even realize that it's part of a healing process that I have to move forward with, because then it affected my romantic relationships after that. So I'm single now, asking God for my husband. But what I've realized is I have to deal with those traumas. I have to deal with whatever I'm holding inside. And it's so important. And you talk about that too, Alexandra. It's so important to heal, to push through, to recognize what you have to heal, recognize what you're holding on to inside, and recognize what you have to let go and how you have to let go, because healing looks different for everybody. You can sit and talk to a therapist, but you can hold back. You're in control of what you speak to their therapist about. It's their job to go further, but it takes a long, long time. And I have been in therapy, and that helps. But recently, I've been supporting. I work as I was an investigator, and I still work with human trafficking victims who also experience domestic violence. But I recently have been speaking more, and just developed a course actually where I work at St. Thomas University as a professor, and in human trafficking, and now in domestic violence, and speaking about that, and sitting with myself and acknowledging, hey, what am I afraid of in these relationships, and why do I kind of self-sabotage or run away or not confront in order to remain peaceful and have a successful, at least a healthy relationship, is I never dealt with the root cause that happened to me over 30 years ago, when I was younger, much younger, not that much younger. I'm still young. But it was a long time ago. And we don't understand that at some point, if you don't deal with that then, which culturally we're not really taught that, but now it's coming up, right? I'm meeting, like, my students are in their 20s, and they're talking about what they're healing through, and how they don't want to have children or get married yet, because they're healing through things with relationships or childhood. And that's brilliant, because we're talking about that, and that's amazing. That's changing culture, changing generation, cultural healing. But me now, in my beautiful age of 51, thank God I'm still here, I'm still healthy, and my mind is still healthy enough to realize and have the awareness, hey, you still have a lot of years before you, but you have a lot more behind you. We got to get this together. So that's what I'm dealing with. That relationship, I dealt with, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, and those are all different things. I forgave him. I did forgive him, so I thought, oh, I'm gone. I forgive him, because I do have a pure heart with love. But no, I have to sit through and go through each and every, even if it's every day of every year, of an incident of what happened during the physical abuse, what that did to me emotionally, physically. I ended up in the hospital. I had, it was very violent. I almost died a number of times. A gun was held to me. And I don't blame him, because my abuser had a violent childhood as well. So two traumatized people, and I grew up with that in my family. My mom and my dad divorced when I was 5, and my stepdad and her had an amazing relationship. He raised me. They had a beautiful, peaceful relationship. But those 5 years really did imprint on me. And as we know culturally and in psychology, the first 7 years of your life are what is going to shape you and form you. So unfortunately, I gravitated towards a romantic relationship that I grew up in till I was 5. And that affected me. And it's still affecting me. But I'm aware of it. I'm healing through it. There is a God. There's an answer. And you know what? I'm young enough to enjoy the rest of my life with my future husband, that lucky man who God has for me.
Well, first of all, my goodness, that's very courageous of you to share that story, because I know that a lot of women are, embarrassed. They feel like, I don't want to share that piece of me. I don't want people to feel sorry for me, or they're just really embarrassed, right, to share that they had lived through that. You read my book, Show Up Scared. I shared my mom's story in there about her, how she went through a lot of abuse. And I think it's so important to share your story. I think it's so important to heal from each chapter of your life. Healing never stops. And this is where people don't tell you this. They think healing is a whole pie, right? Everything today, you're 51, let's heal 51 years. Healing takes sections, like I said, like a pie. You take a section, you heal through it, and you move on to the next. And that's, to me, real true healing. Every piece of that trauma that's happened to you, and I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm only sharing from my personal stories of how much I had to heal in my life. And even writing my book was a piece of healing, being able to really be vulnerable and tell my story of all that I've gone through. So yeah, it is so important to, number one, share your story. Number two, continue healing. I'm still healing. We're always healing, because when you heal from something else pops up. Life is not easy, right? We go through things. We meet men who we have totally different walks of life with, and we get together to try to create a life together, but we are both probably broken, right? And here we are trying the best we can. And I love when you said, I forgave him. And that's so good. Sometimes forgiving people is not always about them. It's about you, right? You forgiving is really for you, because we don't want to add on to the trauma of having this anger, because when you're angry, it is so hard to forgive. When you're angry, it's so hard to heal. So thank you for that. But we're coming close to the end. I want to ask you one final question, and this is for the people that are listening and everything you've shared today. So thank you again, Katina, for really pouring into the audience and being vulnerable, because this is exactly what this podcast is about, is real people, successful people. You're a professor, you're very successful, a mother of 3, thriving, getting ready to be an author, and you have a story.
I have a granddaughter as well. I didn't mention my granddaughter.
Look at that. That's amazing. So yes, hearing your story and someone that's sitting there saying, wow, she's gone through that. My story can be heard. My story, I'm not going to be embarrassed by it. I'm going to heal through. I'm going to move towards that fear. I'm going to lean into that fear, and I'm going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep showing up and fighting, because I know that life will get better if I just keep showing up. Just like you said earlier, showing up is half the battle. Showing up, even if you're shaking, even if your heart's racing, because you can do anything you want in this world. You can actually do it scared. And the more you do it we reframe our mindset and we reprogram our mind to think, listen, I'm still going to do it, even though I'm scared, because all this is just fear of the unknown, and I'm going to learn through every fear that comes into my life. So the last question I want you to leave our listeners with is, what is the one advice that you would give anyone that has gone through something like you've gone through, you've shared today, or just navigating through life, maybe someone younger who, or even our age, right, that is just stuck and just can't see the light? What is that advice that you'd give them today from everything you've gone through and where you continue to go? What is that one thing?
Well, something that has helped me, honestly, I keep talking about God because I'm always going to mention God. God is my number one. My mother, thank God I have my mother, or a mother figure. But honestly, a professor or an instructor, a teacher, maybe in high school, told me once, think of first of all, there's many things you can do in life. You don't have to just do one thing. Sometimes we get so, we get flustered with, what is it that I want to do? Because that's a question. What do you want to do when you grow up? Well, you could do many things because the world is your oyster. Sky's the limit. So that's what I learned throughout each, chapter of my life. And what I do is, what I can recommend, find what you want to do, right? Find someone who's doing that and successful at that, and research them. If you can, talk to them. If you can, follow. Now we have social media and all these things, but contact them. Find a mentor. Sure. Because that's what I did in every area of my life. If I wanted to do something, if I wanted to, be in a certain place in my life, how do I get there? Okay, let me find somebody who's doing that. If I can't contact them, let me research them. Like, honestly, even you, Alexandra, you are, we're about the same age, but I watch you and I see you and I see, you're successful, you have a business, you have books. I'm successful as well, but there's so much areas to that success. I've always wanted to write my book. What's stopping me? You motivated me to continue, working on my book, and just watching you, and you're so humble. You're a mirror of me. I look at you and I'm like, I almost see me. I see me. We're all mirrors of each other. And I'm like, you know what? It's God showing me there's so many women that have showed up scared, and you don't have to be an A-list celebrity or, come from a certain place or come from the same place, but this is all available to you. So even if you're at the successful success and you think, what can I do now? There's always something to do. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you're content with where you want to be, and that's beautiful. But there's so much more available. Just as long as you know that there's so much more available. And what I did is, I'm thirsty, I'm hungry. And as soon as I get that thirst and that hunger, I go and I look, okay, who's doing this? And what was their route? How did they get there? And what does mine look like? And that gives me the motivation.
So good. Yeah, I call it the who's, right? We have our whys, but where are the who's in your life that can help you get to where you're going in collapse time? Because we don't need to go the wrong route, right? You want to write a book? Well, let me help you, because I already did too. I'm getting ready to write my third, right? So let's help each other to get there. So I love that. Such a great advice for anyone listening. You can't do it alone. Find your right who's. What do you want to do? Where are these mentors at? Because there's people out there that want to help you and get you to where you're going faster. No one needs to be alone right now. It's 2025 or 2026, really. You find your network. Find your network. Your network is your net worth, right? And these people should be your tribe who wants to help you elevate to the next level. So, Katina Hernandez, thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. Love hearing from successful women like yourself who could come here and pour into our listeners and share your story. And I know there's so many nuggets today that you threw out there, and so many things that have people thinking of their own lives and how they can become better and show up scared and do it scared anyway and pursue whatever dreams they want, regardless of how life started for them. Because it's not about where you come from, it's about where you're going. And those are lessons from where we come from. But you get to get the pen and you get to write the story that you want to read. And that's the beautiful thing about life. And I love that you continue to mention faith. I'm a woman of faith. I love God. God is all over my home, my life, my children. And I believe that nothing can happen without him first. So anyone in my podcast, Show Up Scared, is welcome to talk about God all they want, because he's why I'm here. He's why I decided to put this podcast together. So I know there will be more and more talks of faith in this podcast. So thank you for sharing and you being so transparent and just being yourself and saying, I'm talking about God. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry,
you
sorry.
go, girl. Love that, love that, love that. Thank you all so much for listening. We continue to bring in great guests like Katina and continue to inspire you all in your journey and to showing up scared. So thank you all for listening.
Thank you.